Gospel. A teaching or revelation of Christ. Doctrine. Teachings. Scriptures. Evangel. What is the significance of the Gospel in religious teachings? The Gospel represents divine teachings that shape moral guidance. Scriptures like the Gospel often inspire individuals to live by faith and uphold spiritual values in their lives. Apostle. A messenger or representative, especially of Christ. Disciple. Follower. Missionary. Evangelist. What role does an apostle play in spreading a message? An apostle, such as a disciple or missionary, significantly influences spreading messages of faith and hope. Their dedication serves as a cornerstone for community belief systems. Exorcism. The act of expelling evil spirits from a person or place. Purification. Deliverance. Cleansing. Spiritual rite. Why do you think exorcisms are still practiced in some cultures? Exorcisms, akin to purification or spiritual rites, are performed to expel negativity. It reflects deep cultural or spiritual beliefs, symbolizing an attempt to restore harmony. Sacrilege. A violation or disrespect of something sacred. Blasphemy. Desecration. Profanation. Irreverence. How do societies deal with acts of sacrilege? Acts of sacrilege, like desecration or blasphemy, often lead to strong reactions as they offend religious sentiments. Many communities promote dialogue and legal actions to address such issues. Pantheism. The belief that God is present in all things. Nature worship. Spiritualism. Animism. Divinity. What are your thoughts on pantheism as a belief system? Pantheism, often linked to nature worship or animism, emphasizes the presence of divinity in everything. It fosters a connection with nature, spirituality, and universal harmony. Polytheism. The belief in or worship of multiple gods. Multitheism. Paganism. Deity worship. Idolatry. How does polytheism influence cultural traditions? Polytheism, including forms like paganism or idolatry, deeply shapes traditional ceremonies and rituals, creating a rich tapestry of beliefs and practices. Purgatory. A place or state of suffering for purification. Limbo. Atonement. Intermediary. Spiritual cleansing. Why is purgatory significant in religious narratives? Purgatory, comparable to limbo or atonement, represents a period of spiritual cleansing. It offers hope for redemption and aligns with moral accountability in faith. Eschatology. The study of end times or final events in history. Apocalypse. Finality. End time. Prophecy. How does eschatology contribute to philosophical reflections? Eschatology, encompassing apocalyptic or end-time theories, delves into the nature of existence and mortality, provoking profound discussions about life's purpose. Resurrection. The act of rising from the dead or returning to life. Revival. Rebirth. Restoration. Renewal. How is the concept of resurrection portrayed in different cultures? Resurrection, akin to rebirth or revival, symbolizes hope and restoration. It often appears in cultural narratives emphasizing the triumph of life over adversity. Sanctity. The state or quality of being holy, sacred, or saintly. Holiness. Sacredness. Purity. Divinity. Why is sanctity considered important in religious practices? Sanctity, often synonymous with purity or holiness, represents spiritual values. It reinforces the significance of respecting sacred elements in religious observance. Commandment. A divine rule, especially one of the 10 Commandments. Precept. Law. Edict. Mandate. How do commandments shape the moral compass of individuals? Commandments, much like precepts or mandates, act as moral guidelines. They influence individuals to lead lives aligned with ethical and societal standards. Creationism. The belief that the universe and living organisms originate from divine creation. Intelligent design. Divine origin. Theism. Special creation. What are your views on creationism as an explanation for life's origin? Creationism, tied to special creation or divine origin, reflects a belief in intelligent design. It presents a spiritual perspective on how the universe came into being. Deadly sin. One of the 7 sins considered destructive to spiritual health. Mortal offense. Cardinal sin. Grave fault. Great transgression. How do the concepts of deadly sins affect ethical behavior in society? Deadly sins, such as cardinal sins or mortal offenses, highlight moral pitfalls. They warn against excesses and promote reflection to maintain ethical and spiritual well-being. Doomsday. The final day of the world's existence. Judgment Day. Apocalypse. Armageddon. Catastrophe. Why does the concept of doomsday fascinate people? Doomsday, often referred to as Judgment Day or Apocalypse, intrigues people due to its dramatic portrayal of finality. It reflects cultural fears and spiritual warnings. Heresy. A belief or opinion that goes against orthodox doctrine. Blasphemy. Dissent. Apostasy. Heterodoxy. Why is heresy viewed differently across cultures? Heresy, akin to dissent or blasphemy, often challenges established norms. Its perception varies widely depending on cultural and religious contexts, evoking debate and reform. Millenarianism. The belief in a future golden age of peace and prosperity. Messianism. Utopianism. Prophecy. Eschatology. How does millenarianism shape societal aspirations? Millenarianism, closely tied to messianism or prophecy, inspires hope for a harmonious future. It reflects humanity's enduring belief in progress and spiritual renewal. Paganism. A religious belief system not based on the main world religions. Heathenism. Polytheism. Animism. Nature worship. How has paganism influenced modern spiritual practices? Paganism, synonymous with polytheism or animism, celebrates nature and ancient traditions. Its rituals often contribute to modern festivals and spiritual diversity. Predestination. The belief that all events are determined in advance by a higher power. Fate. Foreordination. Divine will. Destiny. What role does predestination play in religious thought? Predestination, also termed divine will or destiny, underlines the idea that life's events are preordained. It sparks philosophical discussions about free will and faith. Abbess. A woman who is the head of an abbey of nuns. Mother Superior. Prioress. Reverend Mother. Nun Superior. What responsibilities does an abbess hold in a community? An abbess, sometimes called a prioress or Mother Superior, oversees the spiritual and administrative welfare of her abbey. Her role fosters guidance and harmony among the nuns. Abbot. The head of a monastery of monks. Prior. Father Superior. Monastic leader. Spiritual head. What responsibilities does an abbot have in a religious community? An abbot, much like a prior or spiritual head, oversees the spiritual and administrative welfare of a monastery. They guide monks in maintaining discipline and faith. Bishop. A senior member of the Christian clergy, typically in charge of a diocese. Clergyman. Prelate. Pastor. Ecclesiastical leader. How does a bishop contribute to the church's administration? A bishop, often called a prelate or clergyman, leads religious communities, governs dioceses, and ensures the spiritual growth of the congregation through wise leadership. Rosary. A string of beads used for counting prayers in Christian tradition. Prayer beads. Chaplet. Devotional chain. Prayer garland. Why is the rosary significant in religious practices? The rosary, also known as prayer beads or a chaplet, represents devotion and reflection. It helps individuals connect spiritually and remain focused during prayers. Providence. Divine guidance or care, especially by a higher power. Divine will. Fate. Foreordination. Destiny. How does the concept of providence affect human outlook on life? Providence, often described as divine will or fate, inspires faith in a higher power. It assures believers that life's events occur with purpose, instilling hope and trust. Sectarianism. Excessive attachment to a particular sect or group, often leading to conflict. Factionalism. Partisanship. Tribalism. Divisionism. How can societies overcome sectarianism in communities? Sectarianism, resembling tribalism or factionalism, creates divisions within communities. Overcoming it requires fostering dialogue, unity, and mutual respect. Agnosticism. The belief that the existence of God cannot be proven or disproven. Skepticism. Non-belief. Doubt. Neutrality. Why do you think agnosticism appeals to some individuals? Agnosticism, much like skepticism or doubt, appeals to those valuing neutrality. It allows individuals to focus on evidence rather than strict beliefs. Apocalypse. A dramatic or catastrophic event, often associated with the end of the world. Cataclysm. Armageddon. Doom. Revelation. Why do you think apocalyptic narratives are so popular in literature? Apocalypse-themed stories, tied to cataclysm or doom, captivate audiences by exploring survival, resilience, and human emotions during catastrophic times. Theosophy. A spiritual belief system that seeks to understand the divine through mystical insight. Mysticism. Spiritualism. Esotericism. Transcendentalism. What role does theosophy play in shaping spiritual ideas? Theosophy, akin to mysticism or esotericism, encourages exploring the divine beyond traditional beliefs. It offers a profound sense of spiritual understanding and insight. Pantheon. A group of gods in a particular religion or mythology. Deity cluster. Divine assembly. Celestial hierarchy. Sacred congregation. How has the concept of a pantheon influenced modern storytelling? Pantheons, seen as celestial hierarchies or divine assemblies, inspire narratives by integrating myths of gods into stories, enriching cultural and artistic traditions. Synagogue. A Jewish house of worship and community gathering place. Temple. Shul. Sanctuary. Congregation hall. Why is the synagogue considered an important part of Jewish tradition? Synagogues, also known as temples or sanctuaries, serve as hubs for worship and community life. They provide spaces for prayer, education, and cultural preservation. Hermit. A person who lives in solitude, often for religious reasons. Recluse. Solitary. Ascetic. Anchorite. What motivates people to live as hermits in modern times? Hermits, much like recluses or ascetics, seek solitude for reflection or spirituality. Modern hermits often choose this lifestyle to escape distractions and find inner peace. Chapel. A small place of worship, often part of a larger institution. Oratory. Shrine. Sanctuary. Tabernacle. How do chapels contribute to spiritual experiences for visitors? Chapels, also called oratories or shrines, create intimate spaces for personal prayer. They foster a peaceful environment for reflection and spiritual connection. Consecration. The act of declaring something sacred or dedicated to God. Sanctification. Blessing. Dedication. Hallowing. Why is consecration significant in religious ceremonies? Consecration, akin to sanctification or hallowing, represents a profound act of devotion. It symbolizes the spiritual importance of places, objects, or individuals in faith. Coronation. The ceremony of crowning a monarch. Crowning. Investiture. Enthronement. Inauguration. How do coronation ceremonies reflect cultural traditions? Coronation ceremonies, such as crowning or investiture events, symbolize transitions of power and uphold cultural heritage, uniting people through history and celebration. Hieroglyphic. A writing system using symbols or pictures. Pictogram. Symbolic script. Logogram. Ancient script. Why are hieroglyphics considered an important part of ancient history? Hieroglyphics, or pictograms and symbolic scripts, serve as windows into ancient civilizations. They document traditions, beliefs, and events, preserving cultural identity. Galley. A long, narrow ship used in ancient times, often propelled by oars. Vessel. Ship. Craft. Barge. How were galleys significant in ancient maritime history? Galleys, also referred to as vessels or barges, played a vital role in commerce and warfare. Their design allowed efficient navigation and trade in historical maritime settings. Anachronism. Something belonging to a different time period. Chronological error. Misplacement. Time discrepancy. Temporal incongruity. Why do anachronisms appear in literature or films? Anachronisms, such as temporal incongruities or chronological errors, spark curiosity by blending different eras. They add a layer of intrigue or humor to narratives. Belle Époque. A period of cultural and artistic growth in late 19th early 20th century Europe. Golden Era. Renaissance. Prosperous Age. Flourishing Period. How did the Belle Époque influence art and culture in Europe? The Belle Époque, often called a Golden Era or Prosperous Age, inspired innovation in art, fashion, and technology, leaving a lasting legacy of creativity and elegance. Neanderthal. An extinct species of early humans. Early hominid. Prehistoric man. Cave dweller. Primitive human. What do recent discoveries about Neanderthals tell us about human evolution? Neanderthals, also known as early hominids or primitive humans, reveal insights about human adaptation. Their tools and culture showcase innovation and intelligence. Paleontology. The scientific study of prehistoric life through fossils. Fossil study. Prehistoric biology. Earth history. Paleoscience. Why is paleontology important in understanding Earth's history? Paleontology, often referred to as fossil study or prehistoric biology, provides insights into ancient ecosystems, evolution, and the dynamic history of Earth. Zeitgeist. The defining spirit or mood of a specific period of history. Spirit of the age. Cultural climate. Intellectual atmosphere. Ideological trend. How does the zeitgeist of an era shape its art and culture? The zeitgeist, synonymous with the spirit of the age or cultural climate, influences artistic expressions, mirroring society's collective values and intellectual atmosphere. Genealogy. The study of family ancestries and histories. Ancestry. Lineage. Heritage. Family tree. How does genealogy help individuals connect with their heritage? Genealogy, also known as ancestry or family tree research, enables people to explore their lineage, uncover cultural roots, and preserve family traditions for generations. To chronicle. To document or record events in chronological order. To record. To document. To register. To catalog. Why is it essential to chronicle significant historical events? To chronicle events, such as to record or document them, ensures that pivotal moments are preserved accurately. It aids in understanding history and learning from the past. Relic. An object surviving from an earlier time, often with historical or spiritual significance. Artifact. Memento. Antiquity. Keepsake. Why are relics important in preserving cultural heritage? Relics, such as artifacts or mementos, are vital in connecting us to the past. They symbolize traditions and stories, fostering a sense of historical identity and continuity. Antiquity. The ancient past, especially before the Middle Ages. Ancient times. Classical era. Archaic period. Prehistoric age. How does studying antiquity contribute to modern knowledge? Antiquity, often referred to as the classical era or ancient times, provides insights into early civilizations. It enhances understanding of our cultural and intellectual roots. Dynasty. A line of hereditary rulers of a country. Lineage. Royal line. Sovereignty. Regal line. How have dynasties shaped the political history of the world? Dynasties, much like regal lines or royal lineages, solidified governance through continuity. Their legacies often influenced societal structures, culture, and innovation. Crusade. A vigorous campaign for a cause, originally referring to medieval holy wars. Campaign. Mission. Endeavor. Movement. What lessons can be learned from the historical significance of crusades? Crusades, synonymous with campaigns or missions, highlight the complexities of ideological conflicts. They teach us about unity, perseverance, and the consequences of zeal. Decolonization. The process by which colonies become independent. Liberation. Independence. Sovereignty. Emancipation. Why is decolonization considered a pivotal moment in global history? Decolonization, similar to liberation or emancipation, marked the end of colonial rule. It empowered nations to reclaim autonomy and redefine their social, political, and economic identities. Canon. A general rule, principle, or criterion by which something is judged. Principle. Doctrine. Standard. Rule. Why is the concept of canon important in literature or religion? A canon, often referred to as a principle or standard, provides a structured framework. It ensures consistency, preserving traditions and offering a foundation for critical judgment. Hegemony. Leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group. Dominance. Supremacy. Authority. Control. How has hegemony influenced global political relations over time? Hegemony, whether seen as dominance or authority, has shaped international relations by establishing power dynamics, fostering both cooperation and conflict in global politics. Descent. The origin or background of a person in terms of family or nationality. Ancestry. Lineage. Heritage. Genealogy. How does understanding one's descent influence their identity? Understanding descent, akin to ancestry or heritage, helps individuals connect with their roots. It fosters a sense of belonging and strengthens cultural appreciation. Egalitarianism. The belief in human equality, especially in social, political, and economic affairs. Equality. Fairness. Equity. Equal rights. Why is egalitarianism a key aspect of modern societal values? Egalitarianism, linked to equality or fairness, emphasizes social justice. It inspires systems that promote equal opportunities, fostering unity and reducing disparities. Mores. The essential customs and conventions of a community. Traditions. Norms. Practices. Social conventions. How do mores shape the behavior of individuals in a society? Mores, often seen as norms or traditions, play a vital role in guiding behavior. They reflect a community's values, ensuring harmony and shared understanding among its members. Aesthetic. Concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty. Artistic. Visual appeal. Elegance. Sense of beauty. How does aesthetic appreciation influence our daily lives? Aesthetic appreciation, linked to artistic sensibilities or elegance, enhances our experiences. It enriches creativity, fosters emotional expression, and brings beauty into everyday life. Ethnocentrism. Evaluating other cultures based on the standards of one's own. Cultural bias. Nationalism. Chauvinism. Prejudice. What challenges arise due to ethnocentrism in a globalized world? Ethnocentrism, similar to cultural bias or prejudice, creates misunderstandings in diverse settings. Acknowledging differences fosters respect and global cooperation. Diaspora. The dispersion of people from their original homeland. Expatriates. Scattered community. Migration. Displacement. How does the diaspora contribute to multiculturalism? The diaspora, often described as a scattered community or migration, enriches societies by sharing diverse traditions, fostering cultural exchange, and global connectivity. Ethnography. The scientific study of people and cultures. Cultural study. Social research. Anthropological work. Cultural observation. Why is ethnography an important tool in understanding societies? Ethnography, akin to cultural study or anthropological work, captures the essence of societies. It provides insights into traditions, norms, and human behavior through immersive research. Acculturation. The process of adopting cultural traits or social patterns of another group. Cultural assimilation. Adaptation. Integration. Cultural exchange. How does acculturation shape the identity of individuals? Acculturation, synonymous with cultural assimilation or adaptation, blends traditions. It allows individuals to embrace new cultures while preserving their heritage, enriching identities. Counterculture. A way of life and set of attitudes opposed to or differing from the prevailing social norms. Subculture. Rebellion. Alternative movement. Anti-establishment. How does counterculture impact societal norms? Counterculture, such as rebellion or alternative movements, challenges societal norms by fostering diversity in thought and creativity. It often sparks social evolution and innovation. Totem. An object, typically an animal or plant, that serves as an emblem or symbol for a group. Symbol. Emblem. Mascot. Icon. What is the significance of totems in cultural traditions? Totems, often serving as symbols or emblems, represent unity and shared identity in communities. They offer insights into spiritual and cultural values of a group. Mannerism. A habitual way of speaking or behaving, often characteristic of a person. Habit. Quirk. Peculiarity. Idiosyncrasy. How do mannerisms reflect an individual's personality? Mannerisms, like quirks or peculiarities, reveal unique traits about individuals. They enrich interpersonal communication by highlighting personal expressions and styles. Conventionality. Adherence to traditional or accepted rules or norms. Tradition. Orthodoxy. Conservatism. Custom. How does conventionality influence social behavior? Conventionality, synonymous with tradition or orthodoxy, maintains societal order by promoting conformity. It provides stability, but may also limit creative thinking at times. Credo. A statement of the beliefs or aims that guide someone's actions. Creed. Doctrine. Philosophy. Guiding principle. How does having a personal credo impact one's actions in life? A personal credo, such as a creed or guiding principle, serves as a moral compass. It inspires individuals to remain focused on their values and achieve their aspirations. Precept. A general rule intended to regulate behavior or thought. Principle. Guideline. Rule. Tenet. Why are precepts crucial in maintaining discipline within communities? Precepts, akin to principles or tenets, provide structure and guidance. They foster harmony and encourage people to adhere to ethical and societal norms. Pageantry. Elaborate display or ceremony, often emphasizing grandeur. Spectacle. Parade. Ceremony. Splendor. How does pageantry reflect the cultural identity of a nation? Pageantry, such as a parade or spectacle, showcases national pride and traditions. It unites people in celebration, offering a visual representation of cultural heritage. Animism. The belief that all objects, places, and creatures possess a spirit or essence. Spiritualism. Nature worship. Vitalism. Mystic belief. How does animism shape the way people interact with the natural world? Animism, like nature worship or spiritualism, encourages respect for all forms of life. It fosters a deep connection with nature, enhancing environmental responsibility. Apposition. A grammatical construction where two elements are placed side by side, with one explaining the other. Juxtaposition. Adjacency. Collocation. Parallel placement. How does apposition enhance clarity in written communication? Apposition, such as juxtaposition or parallel placement, helps clarify meaning by providing additional context. It refines sentences, improving their coherence and precision. Portmanteau word. A word blending the sounds and meanings of two other words. Blend. Compound word. Hybrid word. Amalgamated word. Why are portmanteau words popular in modern language? Portmanteau words, like blends or hybrid words, bring creativity and efficiency to communication. They reflect linguistic evolution and adapt to cultural trends. Syntax. The arrangement of words and phrases to create well-formed sentences. Sentence structure. Word order. Grammar. Linguistic order. How does syntax affect the flow of a written or spoken text? Syntax, or sentence structure and word order, dictates the rhythm and clarity of expression. A well-organized syntax strengthens communication and enhances readability. Morpheme. The smallest meaningful unit of language. Word component. Linguistic unit. Morphological unit. Lexical element. How does understanding morphemes contribute to language learning? Morphemes, also known as word components or lexical elements, are building blocks of language. They help learners decode word structures and meanings effectively. Lexicon. The vocabulary of a person, language, or branch of knowledge. Vocabulary. Word stock. Terminology. Diction. Why is expanding one's lexicon essential for effective communication? A rich lexicon, such as vocabulary or terminology, empowers individuals to convey ideas with precision. It fosters eloquence and builds confidence in communication. Anaphora. A rhetorical device that involves repeating a word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses or sentences. Repetition. Parallelism. Recurrence. Iteration. How does anaphora enhance the impact of speeches and writing? Anaphora, such as repetition or parallelism, emphasizes key ideas and evokes emotions. It creates rhythm and structure, making the message more persuasive and memorable. Linguist. A person skilled in languages or the scientific study of language. Language expert. Philologist. Lexicologist. Language scholar. Why is the role of a linguist crucial in language preservation? Linguists, like philologists or lexicologists, play a key role in documenting and preserving languages. Their work safeguards cultural heritage and enriches communication. Glossary. An alphabetical list of terms with their definitions, typically found in the back of a book. Terminology list. Vocabulary guide. Lexicon. Word index. How does a glossary help in understanding specialized texts? A glossary, referred to as a terminology list or word index, provides concise definitions. It aids readers in grasping complex concepts in technical or academic works. Orthography. The conventional spelling system of a language. Spelling rules. Writing system. Alphabetic script. Linguistic notation. Why is orthography important in maintaining linguistic consistency? Orthography, including spelling rules and writing systems, ensures clarity and uniformity in communication. It upholds standards and facilitates learning across generations. Morphology. The study of the structure and form of words in a language. Word formation. Structure study. Linguistic analysis. Form study. Why is morphology important in understanding language development? Morphology, such as word formation or form study, provides insights into how words are structured and evolve. It helps linguists understand grammar and language patterns better. Etymology. The study of the origin and historical development of words. Word origin. Root study. Lexical history. Word derivation. How can etymology help us understand modern vocabulary better? Etymology, like word origin or lexical history, reveals the roots of words. It deepens our understanding of language evolution and helps trace cultural influences in vocabulary. Semasiology. The study of meaning in language. Semantics. Meaning analysis. Lexicological study. Sense study. Why is semasiology a key area of linguistic research? Semasiology, also known as semantics or sense study, explores how meanings are assigned to words. This enhances our understanding of communication and cultural expressions. Philology. The study of language in historical texts. Historical linguistics. Textual study. Literary linguistics. Language analysis. How has philology contributed to preserving ancient languages? Philology, referred to as historical linguistics or literary linguistics, preserves ancient texts. It ensures the survival of linguistic heritage and fosters appreciation of historical literature. Royalty. People of royal status or the qualities associated with them. Monarchy. Nobility. Sovereignty. Aristocracy. How does royalty continue to influence modern societies? Royalty, including monarchies and aristocracy, remains a symbol of tradition. It inspires cultural pride and strengthens tourism, while often playing a ceremonial role in governance. Altarpiece. A work of art, such as a painting or sculpture, placed behind an altar. Retable. Reredos. Shrine artwork. Religious panel. Why are altarpieces significant in religious art? Altarpieces, often seen as retables or shrine artworks, serve as focal points for worship. They convey spiritual themes, enhancing the sacred atmosphere of religious spaces. Bust. A sculpture of a person's head, shoulders, and chest. Statue. Portrait. Effigy. Figurine. What makes busts an important form of artistic expression? Busts, like portraits or effigies, capture the essence of individuals. They are timeless representations of historical figures, preserving their legacy through art. Etching. A printmaking technique where designs are incised into a surface. Engraving. Inscription. Imprint. Carving. Why is etching considered a valuable technique in visual art? Etching, akin to engraving or imprinting, allows for intricate designs. It provides artists with a medium to create detailed and expressive works that often tell complex stories. Impasto. A technique in painting where paint is laid on thickly to create texture. Thick painting. Textured layers. Raised surface. Heavy brushwork. How does the impasto technique influence the perception of a painting? Impasto, with its textured layers and heavy brushwork, adds depth and dimension to artwork. It creates a tactile quality, making the painting more dynamic and expressive. Pointillism. A painting technique using small dots of color to create an image. Dot painting. Pixelation. Stippling. Spot technique. Why is pointillism considered a groundbreaking artistic method? Pointillism, also known as stippling or dot painting, revolutionized art by using tiny dots to form images. It highlights precision and vibrant interaction of colors. Photomontage. A composite image made by combining photographs or parts of photographs. Photo collage. Image blending. Picture assembly. Graphic composition. How does photomontage reflect creativity in modern visual storytelling? Photomontage, akin to photo collage or image blending, tells complex stories by combining elements. It provides artists with a versatile medium to experiment and innovate. Printmaking. The process of creating artworks by printing, normally on paper. Engraving. Etching. Block printing. Lithography. What makes printmaking a versatile and enduring art form? Printmaking, such as engraving or lithography, enables mass production of designs. It combines traditional techniques with innovation, making it widely appreciated in art. Reverberation. The persistence of sound after the original sound is produced. Echo. Resonance. Vibration. Reflection. How does reverberation affect the acoustics of a performance space? Reverberation, like echoes or resonance, enriches the listening experience by creating a fuller and more immersive sound. However, excessive vibration can distort clarity. Encore. A repeated or additional performance at the end of a concert. Repeat performance. Additional act. Curtain call. Repeat request. Why do audiences often request an encore at live performances? An encore, such as a repeat performance or curtain call, symbolizes audience appreciation. It strengthens the bond between performers and spectators by extending the experience. Duet. A musical composition or performance by two singers or instrumentalists. Pair performance. Duo composition. Two-part harmony. Collaboration. Why are duets so popular in music? Duets, often referred to as pair performances or two-part harmonies, bring contrasting voices together. They enhance musical storytelling through emotional collaboration. Coda. The concluding part of a piece of music or a literary work. Finale. Conclusion. Ending section. Closing passage. How does a coda contribute to the overall structure of a musical piece? A coda, like a finale or closing passage, provides resolution and balance to a musical composition. It leaves a lasting impression by tying together preceding sections. Arpeggio. The playing of the notes of a chord in a rapid, successive manner. Broken chord. Rapid notes. Chord progression. Sequential harmony. How does the use of arpeggios enhance musical compositions? Arpeggios, or broken chords and chord progressions, add flow and complexity. They create dynamic transitions that enhance the texture and emotion of a musical piece. Atonality. Music that lacks a tonal center or key. Keylessness. Tonal freedom. Nontonality. Dissonance. Why is atonality considered a groundbreaking approach in music composition? Atonality, characterized by tonal freedom and dissonance, defies traditional structures. It challenges listeners, offering unique and innovative musical expressions. Counterpoint. A musical technique where two or more melodic lines are combined. Contrast. Polyphony. Harmonization. Countermelody. Why is counterpoint considered an essential technique in classical music? Counterpoint, involving polyphony or countermelody, brings depth to compositions. It allows contrasting melodies to interweave, creating rich and harmonious musical textures. Discord. A lack of harmony between musical notes or disagreement in general. Dissonance. Conflict. Cacophony. Inharmoniousness. How can discord be used effectively in music composition? Discord, such as dissonance or cacophony, can add tension and emotion. When resolved, it enriches the listening experience, leading to a satisfying musical progression. Libretto. The text of an opera or other long vocal work. Script. Lyrics. Opera book. Musical text. Why is the libretto important in the storytelling of an opera? A libretto, like a script or opera book, guides the narrative of an opera. It integrates music and drama, ensuring the audience connects deeply with the story being told. Rendition. A performance or interpretation of a musical or artistic work. Interpretation. Execution. Presentation. Performance. How does a unique rendition influence the audience's experience of a classic piece? A rendition, whether an interpretation or performance, personalizes the artwork. It allows artists to showcase their perspective, adding fresh meaning to established works. Discography. A complete collection of recordings by an artist or group. Music catalog. Recording collection. Musical archive. Body of work. Why is an artist's discography crucial for understanding their musical evolution? A discography, like a music catalog or body of work, reveals an artist's growth. It provides listeners with insights into their creative journey and stylistic development. Tracklist. The list of songs or musical pieces in an album or performance. Song list. Playlist. Setlist. Music index. How does a thoughtfully curated tracklist impact the listener's experience? A tracklist, akin to a playlist or setlist, organizes songs for coherence and flow. A well-planned sequence enhances emotional impact and keeps the audience engaged. Video jockey. A person who mixes and presents video content during live performances or broadcasts. VJ. Visual performer. Video mixer. Digital artist. How has the role of a video jockey evolved in the entertainment industry? A video jockey, or VJ, and digital artist, creatively combines visuals with music. Their role has expanded with technology, shaping immersive experiences at concerts and events. Cadenza. A virtuoso solo passage inserted into a movement of a concerto or other work, typically near the end. Solo passage. Virtuoso section. Improvised segment. Musical flourish. How does a cadenza contribute to the performance of a concerto? A cadenza, such as a solo passage or musical flourish, showcases the performer's technical brilliance and creativity. It heightens the emotional intensity of the piece. Chaconne. A type of musical composition with variations over a repeated bass line. Ground bass. Variations piece. Repeated sequence. Harmonic repetition. Why is the chaconne regarded as an influential style in classical music? The chaconne, with its ground bass and harmonic repetition, offers an elegant framework. Its variations highlight compositional skill and emotional depth in classical works. Ditty. A short and simple song. Tune. Melody. Jingle. Ballad. Why do simple ditties often resonate deeply with listeners? Ditties, or simple tunes and melodies, appeal through their simplicity and charm. They evoke nostalgia and are easily remembered, making them culturally significant. Rhapsody. A free-flowing, emotional musical composition. Musical fantasy. Improvisation. Emotional piece. Expressive work. What makes a rhapsody a distinctive form of musical expression? A rhapsody, like a musical fantasy or expressive work, flows freely without constraints. Its emotional depth and creativity leave a profound impression on the listener. Repertoire. A collection of works an artist is prepared to perform. Catalog. Collection. Performance list. Stock. Why is an extensive repertoire important for a performer? A repertoire, much like a catalog or performance list, demonstrates versatility. It allows performers to adapt to varied audiences while showcasing their artistic breadth. Treble. The highest range of sounds in music. High notes. Soprano range. Upper register. High pitch. How does the treble contribute to the overall harmony in musical compositions? Treble, synonymous with high notes or upper registers, adds brightness and clarity. It balances the harmony by contrasting lower frequencies, creating a rich tonal texture. Octave. A series of 8 notes occupying the interval between two notes, one having twice or half the frequency of the other. Musical interval. Tone range. Pitch scale. Note span. How does the concept of octave shape musical compositions? Octaves, as a musical interval or pitch scale, define harmony and melody in music. They help create balance, allowing composers to explore a wide tonal range effectively. Clef. A symbol placed at the beginning of a musical staff to indicate the pitch of the notes. Key symbol. Staff marker. Music notation. Pitch indicator. Why is the clef essential in reading and writing music? The clef, like a key symbol or pitch indicator, guides musicians in interpreting notes. It establishes clarity in reading sheet music, making compositions easier to perform. Long play. A vinyl record format that typically holds more music than a standard single. LP. Vinyl album. Full-length record. Extended album. How has the long play format influenced music consumption? Long play records, also known as LPs or full-length albums, revolutionized music by providing extended content. They became a staple for delivering complete artistic works. Extended play. A musical recording that is longer than a single but shorter than a full album. EP. Mini album. Short play. Compact record. Why do artists release extended plays instead of full albums? Extended plays, or EPs and mini albums, allow artists to showcase new material with greater flexibility. They offer fans fresh content without the commitment of a full-length album. Maestro. A distinguished conductor, composer, or music teacher. Virtuoso. Conductor. Music master. Artistic leader. How does the role of a maestro impact the performance of an orchestra? A maestro, also known as a virtuoso or artistic leader, directs with vision and expertise. Their leadership shapes the harmony, interpretation, and emotional depth of an orchestral piece. Crossover. A work or performance that blends elements from different genres. Fusion. Hybrid. Genre mix. Interblend. How has musical crossover bridged the gap between different styles? Crossover music, whether seen as fusion or genre mixing, fosters innovation by blending styles. It appeals to diverse audiences, creating unique and memorable compositions. Resolution. The conclusion or final solution of a musical or literary piece. Conclusion. Climax. Closure. Final cadence. Why is resolution significant in crafting impactful musical compositions? Resolution, such as closure or final cadence, brings a sense of fulfillment. It ties together preceding elements, leaving a lasting impression on the listener. Cameo. A brief appearance or role by a well-known person in a movie or play. Guest appearance. Special role. Brief performance. Star moment. Why are cameos significant in films or television? Cameos, such as guest appearances or star moments, add an element of surprise. They excite audiences, boost engagement, and often pay homage to iconic personalities. Denouement. The final resolution or conclusion of a narrative or plot. Climax. Resolution. Ending. Culmination. How does a denouement shape the impact of a story? The denouement, like a resolution or culmination, ties up loose ends in a narrative. It leaves the audience with clarity and a sense of closure, reinforcing the story's themes. Interlude. An intervening period of time or a short performance between acts. Interval. Break. Pause. Midsection. How does an interlude contribute to the structure of a performance? An interlude, such as a break or pause, provides a moment of rest or reflection. It transitions smoothly between parts, keeping the audience engaged without overwhelming them. Fourth wall. The imaginary barrier between the audience and the performers. Performer-audience divide. Imaginary barrier. Dramatic wall. Direct address. Why is breaking the fourth wall a powerful theatrical technique? Breaking the fourth wall, also called direct address or dramatic wall disruption, establishes a direct connection with the audience. It immerses viewers in the narrative uniquely. Green room. A backstage area where performers prepare and relax. Waiting room. Resting area. Performers lounge. Dressing room. Why is the green room essential in the performing arts? The green room, also known as the performer's lounge or waiting room, offers a space for relaxation. It helps performers prepare mentally and physically before taking the stage. Backlit. An outdoor area on a film studio used for shooting scenes. Film set. Production area. Outdoor studio. Studio lot. How does a backlit enhance the filmmaking process? A backlit, akin to a film set or outdoor studio, provides a versatile space for scene creation. It allows filmmakers to replicate environments, reducing the need for on-location shoots. Rough cut. The initial edited version of a film, still subject to changes. Preliminary edit. Early version. Draft edit. Initial cut. Why is the rough cut important in the filmmaking process? A rough cut, such as a preliminary edit or draft edit, sets the foundation for the final product. It helps editors refine pacing, flow, and storytelling before the polished version is completed. Storyboarding. A visual representation of a script through sequential drawings. Visual plan. Scene sketches. Shot outline. Action frames. How does storyboarding assist directors in visualizing their ideas? Storyboarding, like scene sketches or shot outlines, provides a visual roadmap. It ensures that scenes are planned thoroughly, saving time and resources during production. Outtake. A scene or piece of footage not included in the final production. Rejected scene. Unused footage. Omitted clip. Deleted segment. Why are outtakes often featured in bonus material for films? Outtakes, referred to as deleted segments or unused footage, offer audiences behind-the-scenes insight. They add humor and reveal the creative process of filmmaking. Ad-lib. A spontaneous or improvised addition to dialogue or action. Improvised line. Unscripted moment. Spontaneous speech. On-the-spot dialogue. How does ad-libbing enhance the authenticity of performances? Ad-libbing, such as unscripted moments or spontaneous speech, brings realism to performances. It allows actors to connect with their roles and adapt naturally to situations. Curtain call. The appearance of performers at the end of a play or performance to acknowledge applause. Final bow. Stage appearance. Acknowledgement. Closing act. Why is the curtain call a memorable part of live performances? A curtain call, including the final bow or stage appearance, allows performers to connect with their audience. It highlights mutual appreciation, celebrating the effort of the entire production team. Read through. A complete reading of a script by the cast for rehearsal purposes. Script reading. Dialogue run. Table read. Text rehearsal. How does a read-through benefit the preparation of a production? A read-through, also known as a table read or dialogue run, helps actors understand their roles. It fosters collaboration, allowing the cast to explore character dynamics early on. Scene shifting. The process of changing the setup of a stage or set during a performance or production. Set transition. Stage change. Scene transition. Layout adjustment. How does scene shifting maintain the flow of a stage production? Scene shifting, like set transitions or stage changes, ensures seamless progression. It enhances the audience's experience by maintaining visual and narrative continuity. Set piece. A well-crafted, dramatic scene or element in a production. Featured scene. Elaborate sequence. Highlight moment. Signature scene. Why are set pieces vital in creating memorable productions? Set pieces, such as featured scenes or elaborate sequences, captivate audiences. They combine artistic design and storytelling, leaving a lasting impression in the viewer's mind. Spoof. A humorous imitation of something, typically for satire. Parody. Satire. Mockery. Farce. Why do spoofs remain popular in modern entertainment? Spoofs, often referred to as parodies or farces, offer comic relief by imitating serious topics. They encourage creative expression and provide a fresh perspective on familiar content. Weepy. Something overly sentimental or likely to induce tears. Tearjerker. Emotional. Sentimental. Heartbreaking. Why are weepy films or books often considered impactful? Weepy works, such as tearjerkers or sentimental pieces, evoke powerful emotions. They connect with audiences on a deep level, leaving a lasting impression through their heartfelt storytelling. Vaudeville. A theatrical genre of variety entertainment. Variety show. Stage comedy. Music hall. Burlesque. How has vaudeville influenced the evolution of modern entertainment? Vaudeville, like variety shows or burlesque acts, laid the groundwork for diverse entertainment. It combined humor, music, and drama, shaping the essence of modern media formats. Cinematography. The art of motion picture photography and filming. Filmmaking. Visual storytelling. Movie photography. Camera work. How does cinematography enhance the impact of a film? Cinematography, or visual storytelling in camera work, defines the mood and tone of a film. Through lighting, angles, and movement, it transforms scripts into immersive experiences. Docudrama. A dramatized film or TV program based on real events. Dramatized documentary. Narrative reality. Factual drama. Real-life fiction. How do docudramas balance storytelling with historical accuracy? Docudramas, such as factual dramas or real-life fiction, blend storytelling with actual events. They engage audiences emotionally while preserving the essence of reality. Film noir. A cinematic genre characterized by moral ambiguity, dark visuals, and crime themes. Dark cinema. Crime drama. Mystery thriller. Shadowed film. Why does film noir continue to captivate contemporary filmmakers? Film noir, known as dark cinema or crime drama, portrays complex moral dilemmas. Its shadowy visuals and gripping themes keep it influential in modern cinematic storytelling. Docufiction. A hybrid genre combining documentary and fictional elements. Documentary fiction. Reality fiction. Hybrid narrative. Non-fiction drama. How does docufiction challenge traditional storytelling methods? Docufiction, a mix of hybrid narrative or non-fiction drama, creatively merges facts with imagination. It allows filmmakers to reinterpret reality while maintaining credibility. Bouffon. A theatrical style featuring exaggerated satire and grotesque humor. Satirical comedy. Grotesque farce. Mocking theater. Caricature play. How does Bouffon theater push boundaries in performance art? Bouffon, akin to grotesque farce or caricature play, uses satire and humor to critique societal norms. It challenges audiences to reflect while being entertained. Special effects. Techniques used in film or TV to create illusions or enhance visuals. Visual effects. CGI magic. Screen illusions. Digital enhancements. How do special effects shape the visual storytelling of films? Special effects, such as CGI magic or screen illusions, transform visual storytelling. They immerse viewers in imaginative worlds, bringing otherwise impossible scenes to life. Protagonist. The main character or leading figure in a story, play, or film. Hero. Central character. Lead role. Main figure. Why is the protagonist important in a narrative? A protagonist, like a hero or central character, drives the story. They embody the audience's perspective, ensuring emotional connection and narrative progression. Antagonist. A character or force opposing the protagonist. Opponent. Adversary. Rival. Nemesis. How does the antagonist add complexity to a story? An antagonist, such as an adversary or nemesis, creates conflict and tension. They challenge the protagonist, driving the plot and making the narrative engaging. Supervillain. A character who is extremely powerful and evil, often opposing the hero. Archvillain. Evil mastermind. Criminal genius. Nemesis. Why are supervillains a significant part of superhero narratives? Supervillains, like archvillains or criminal geniuses, add excitement. Their dramatic opposition elevates the hero's journey, showcasing the struggle between good and evil. Conceit. An extended metaphor or unusual comparison in literature. Metaphor. Analogy. Fancy idea. Literary device. How does conceit enhance the creativity of literary works? Conceit, as a metaphor or literary device, adds depth and originality to writing. It challenges readers to think abstractly, making the narrative more imaginative. Hyperbole. An exaggerated statement or claim not meant to be taken literally. Overstatement. Exaggeration. Amplification. Embellishment. Why is hyperbole commonly used in both literature and speech? Hyperbole, such as overstatement or exaggeration, emphasizes points dramatically. It creates a vivid impact, engaging audiences with humor or intensity. Prolixity. The use of too many words, tedious verbosity. Verbosity. Wordiness. Long-windedness. Redundancy. How does prolixity affect the effectiveness of communication? Prolixity, like verbosity or wordiness, can dilute a message's clarity. While it offers detail, excessive words often confuse or lose the interest of the audience. Blurb. A short description of a book, film, or other creative work. Summary. Synopsis. Description. Overview. How does an effective blurb influence audience interest in creative works? A blurb, synonymous with a synopsis or overview, acts as a teaser. It captures attention by providing a glimpse into the content, sparking curiosity and engagement. Epigraph. A short quotation or saying at the beginning of a book or chapter, intended to suggest its theme. Inscription. Motto. Quotation. Preface note. Why are epigraphs important in framing a literary work? Epigraphs, such as mottos or preface notes, set the tone of a text. They provide insight into the themes and provoke curiosity, enriching the reader's understanding. Miscellanea. A collection of various items, writings, or pieces. Collection. Assortment. Compilation. Varied materials. How does miscellanea contribute to academic or literary works? Miscellanea, akin to compilations or assortments, bring together diverse ideas. They provide comprehensive perspectives, enriching the content with varied viewpoints. Pamphleteer. A person who writes or publishes political or controversial pamphlets. Essayist. Writer. Polemicist. Publicist. How did pamphleteers influence the spread of ideas in history? Pamphleteers, like essayists or polemicists, shaped public opinion by disseminating their views. They were key figures in sparking debates and mobilizing movements. Wordsmith. A skilled user of words, especially in writing. Writer. Linguist. Author. Word crafter. Why is being a wordsmith an admired trait in writing and communication? A wordsmith, referred to as a writer or word crafter, wields language expertly. Their creativity and precision captivate readers, making their works impactful and memorable. Afrofuturism. A cultural aesthetic and philosophy exploring the intersection of African diaspora culture with technology and science fiction. Futuristic art. African sci-fi. Afrocentric speculation. Cultural innovation. How has Afrofuturism expanded the boundaries of cultural expression? Afrofuturism, like Afrocentric speculation or futuristic art, reimagines narratives. It fuses tradition and innovation, offering unique insights into identity and creativity. Whodunit. A story or play about a mystery, especially a murder, with the identity of the perpetrator not revealed until the end. Mystery novel. Detective story. Crime thriller. Investigative tale. Why are whodunits a timeless genre in literature and film? Whodunits, such as mystery novels or crime thrillers, captivate audiences by engaging their curiosity. They offer suspenseful plots that challenge logic and critical thinking. Codex. An ancient manuscript in book form, typically handwritten. Manuscript. Scroll. Ancient text. Document. Why are codices considered valuable in historical research? Codices, such as manuscripts or ancient texts, provide insights into early civilizations. They preserve knowledge, traditions, and languages, making them crucial for understanding history. Parable. A simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson. Moral tale. Allegorical story. Fable. Didactic narrative. How do parables effectively convey moral teachings? Parables, like moral tales or fables, simplify complex ideas. Their relatable narratives help readers connect with the message, fostering understanding and reflection. Satire. The use of humor, irony, or exaggeration to criticize or expose flaws in society or individuals. Irony. Parody. Mockery. Lampoon. Why does satire play a vital role in modern literature and media? Satire, akin to parody or lampoon, uses humor to address serious issues. It provokes thought, encouraging audiences to critically analyze societal norms and flaws. Allegory. A story, poem, or picture with a hidden meaning, typically moral or political. Symbolism. Metaphor. Figurative story. Hidden narrative. How does allegory enhance the depth of storytelling? Allegory, such as symbolism or figurative storytelling, enriches narratives by layering meanings. It engages readers to uncover deeper messages beneath surface details. Prologue. An introduction to a literary work, providing context or background information. Preface. Introduction. Foreword. Opening section. How does a prologue enhance a reader's understanding of the story? A prologue, such as a preface or foreword, sets the tone and context for the narrative. It gives readers vital background, enriching their understanding of the unfolding plot. Epilogue. A concluding section that reflects on or provides closure to the narrative. Conclusion. Afterword. Final remarks. Closing chapter. Why is an epilogue important in wrapping up a story? An epilogue, also known as an afterword or closing chapter, resolves loose ends. It provides closure and often gives insight into what happens beyond the main narrative. Allusion. An indirect or passing reference to something. Reference. Implication. Hint. Suggestion. How does the use of allusion deepen the meaning of a literary work? Allusion, such as a reference or hint, invites readers to draw connections. It enriches the narrative by layering it with cultural, historical, or thematic significance. Fable. A short story, often with animals as characters, conveying a moral. Parable. Allegory. Moral tale. Didactic story. Why are fables effective in teaching moral lessons? Fables, like parables or didactic stories, simplify complex ideas through engaging narratives. Their timeless morals resonate across audiences, fostering ethical reflection. Abridgment. A shortened version of a work, retaining its essence. Condensed version. Summary. Edited text. Digest. How does an abridgment make literature more accessible? An abridgment, such as a condensed version or digest, presents essential ideas. It allows readers to engage with the core content efficiently, making it suitable for varied audiences. Atrium. A large open space inside a building, often with a glass roof. Central court. Inner hall. Courtyard. Main lobby. How does an atrium enhance the aesthetics of modern architecture? An atrium, such as a central court or courtyard, brings natural light and openness to spaces. Its design fosters connectivity, creating visually appealing and functional areas. Vault. An arched structure forming a roof or ceiling. Dome. Arch. Chamber. Enclosure. Why are vaulted ceilings a hallmark of classical and religious architecture? Vaults, including domes and arches, add grandeur and stability to structures. They represent engineering prowess while creating awe-inspiring, expansive interiors. Facade. The exterior front or face of a building, especially the main front. Frontage. Building face. Exterior. Outer wall. Why is the facade considered a vital element in architectural design? A facade, synonymous with frontage or outer wall, defines a building's character. It combines functionality and artistry, leaving a lasting impression on observers. Foyer. A large entrance hall or lobby in a building. Entry hall. Reception area. Entrance lobby. Vestibule. How does a foyer contribute to the visitor's experience in public spaces? A foyer, such as an entry hall or reception area, serves as a welcoming space. It sets the tone for a building, offering functionality and enhancing first impressions. Gable. The triangular part of a wall between the edges of a pitched roof. Roof triangle. Pediment. Ridge end. Apex wall. What role does the gable play in architectural aesthetics and functionality? A gable, also known as a roof triangle or pediment, adds elegance and utility. It improves drainage, complements the design, and enhances a structure's visual symmetry. Mezzanine. An intermediate floor between the main floors of a building. Balcony level. Half floor. Intermediate floor. Overhanging floor. Why is the mezzanine a popular feature in modern interior designs? Mezzanines, like balcony levels or intermediate floors, maximize vertical space. They offer functional areas for seating or storage while maintaining the openness of a room. Parapet. A low protective wall along the edge of a roof, balcony, or bridge. barrier wall, guardrail, balustrade, protective wall. How does a parapet enhance both safety and architectural design? Parapets, also called guardrails or protective walls, ensure safety by enclosing edges. They can also be aesthetically designed to harmonize with the building's style. Pergola. A structure with a roof of beams and open sides, often supporting climbing plants. Arbor. Pavilion. Garden arch. Trellis. How does a pergola enhance the aesthetics of outdoor spaces? Pergolas, such as arbors or garden arches, create shaded areas while blending natural beauty with architecture. They offer a tranquil space for relaxation and gatherings. Portico. A covered entrance supported by columns, often leading to a building. Colonnade. Porch. Entranceway. Covered walkway. Why is a portico considered a hallmark of classical architectural design? A portico, like a colonnade or porch, adds grandeur and functionality. Its symmetrical design not only welcomes visitors but also protects entrances from the elements. Vestibule. A small entrance hall or anteroom leading to the main part of a building. Entryway. Foyer. Hallway. Anteroom. How does a vestibule improve the flow and design of a building? A vestibule, such as an entryway or foyer, acts as a transitional space. It provides practicality by reducing external exposure while offering a welcoming entrance. Veranda. A roofed platform along the outside of a house, often extending across the front or sides. Porch. Balcony. Terrace. Gallery. Why are verandas a popular feature in residential architecture? Verandas, known as porches or terraces, connect indoor and outdoor spaces. They provide a versatile area for leisure, enhancing the charm and utility of a home's design. Alcove. A small recessed section of a room or space. Recess. Niche. Corner. Bay. How does an alcove improve the functionality and aesthetics of a room? An alcove, such as a recess or niche, creates cozy spaces within a room. It can be used for seating, storage, or decor, enhancing both utility and visual appeal. Nook. A small, secluded, or cozy corner. Cranny. Cozy space. Hideaway. Corner spot. Why are nooks popular in interior design for modern homes? Nooks, like crannies or cozy spaces, provide intimate areas for relaxation. They add character to homes and offer personal spaces for reading, working, or unwinding. Direct marketing. A method of reaching consumers directly rather than through mass advertising. Personal selling. Targeted promotion. Direct outreach. One-to-one marketing. Why is direct marketing considered an effective strategy in today's digital world? Direct marketing, such as targeted promotion or one-to-one marketing, allows businesses to tailor their messages. It builds stronger customer connections, increasing engagement and sales. Elevator pitch. A concise and persuasive speech summarizing an idea or proposal. Quick presentation. Brief speech. Summary pitch. Concise proposal. Why is an elevator pitch crucial in professional settings? An elevator pitch, such as a quick presentation or concise proposal, communicates ideas effectively. It captures attention quickly, fostering opportunities in limited time. Giveaway. A promotional offer distributed for free to attract attention. Freebie. Promo gift. Complimentary item. Marketing freebie. How do giveaways help businesses engage with their audience? Giveaways, like freebies or promo gifts, build customer loyalty and attract new audiences. They create excitement while promoting the brand's visibility and reputation. Telemarketing. The direct selling of goods or services over the phone. Phone sales. Telesales. Call marketing. Direct phone marketing. Why is telemarketing an effective strategy for reaching customers? Telemarketing, including phone sales or telesales, provides direct communication with customers. It personalizes the approach, fostering connections and boosting sales. Viral marketing. A marketing strategy aimed at spreading information rapidly. Buzz marketing. Word-of-mouth marketing. Social sharing. Peer-to-peer marketing. How does viral marketing benefit brands in the digital age? Viral marketing, like buzz or social sharing, spreads brand messages quickly. It leverages online platforms, creating widespread awareness through engaging and shareable content. Want ad. A classified advertisement used to request goods or services. Job listing. Classified ad. Hiring notice. Advertisement. How do want ads assist individuals in finding services or job opportunities? Want ads, such as classified ads or job listings, connect people efficiently. They provide clear platforms for offering or seeking services, ensuring accessibility and precision. Concern. A feeling of worry or care about something. Anxiety. Worry. Unease. Apprehension. How does addressing customer concerns improve brand trust? Concerns, such as worries or apprehensions, when addressed, reinforce trust. Timely responses show empathy and commitment, strengthening customer relationships and loyalty. Oligopoly. A market structure dominated by a small number of large firms. Limited competition. Controlled market. Few competitors. Market concentration. Why does oligopoly impact the pricing and innovation in industries? Oligopolies, like controlled markets or few competitors, limit competition but encourage collaboration. They affect pricing and foster innovation to maintain market leadership. Advertorial. An advertisement presented in the style of editorial content. Sponsored content. Paid article. Promotional feature. Branded story. How does an advertorial blur the line between content and advertising? An advertorial, such as sponsored content or promotional features, combines advertising with storytelling. It subtly engages readers while promoting products or services. Banner ad. A graphic advertisement displayed on a web page. Online ad. Display advertisement. Web ad. Digital banner. Why are banner ads a common tool in online marketing strategies? Banner ads, like online ads or digital banners, catch user attention with visuals. They drive traffic to websites and increase brand visibility, making them highly effective. Gimmick: a marketing strategy or trick designed to attract attention. Stunt, ploy, tactic, strategy. How can gimmicks both help and hinder marketing campaigns? Gimmicks, such as stunts or tactics, create interest in products. However, overuse or lack of substance can lead to skepticism, reducing the campaign's effectiveness. Junk mail: unsolicited advertising or promotional material sent via email or post. Spam mail: promotional flyers. Direct mail. Bulk mail. Why is junk mail considered intrusive by some consumers? Junk mail, like spam or bulk mail, often overwhelms recipients. Although it advertises products, its unsolicited nature can annoy consumers and reduce its impact. Mailshot: a mass mailing of promotional material to potential customers. Mass mailing. Direct campaign. Promotional email. Circular letter. How do mailshots help businesses reach their target audience efficiently? Mailshots, referred to as mass mailings or direct campaigns, deliver targeted messages. They provide a cost-effective method to connect with large audiences and drive sales. Infomercial: a television program that promotes a product in a detailed way. Product demo. Commercial feature. Sales program. TV advertisement. How do infomercials effectively combine entertainment and promotion? Infomercials, such as product demos or sales programs, engage viewers by explaining products in detail. Their entertaining format educates consumers while encouraging sales. Product placement: a marketing technique where brands are subtly promoted within media content. Brand integration. Embedded marketing. In-content advertising. Subtle branding. How does product placement influence consumer behavior? Product placement, such as brand integration or subtle branding, connects audiences with brands in a seamless way. It shapes preferences through relatable and engaging storytelling. Pyramid selling: a business model where participants earn by recruiting others rather than selling products. Multilevel scheme. Chain marketing. Recruitment model. Tiered selling. Why is pyramid selling often criticized as a business model? Pyramid selling, like tiered or multilevel schemes, is often seen as exploitative. It prioritizes recruitment over product value, leading to financial risk for many participants. Affiliate: a person or organization officially attached to a larger entity. Partner. Associate. Member. Subsidiary. How does affiliate marketing help businesses expand their reach? Affiliates, such as partners or associates, extend business networks. They boost sales by promoting products, creating mutually beneficial partnerships across industries. Niche: a specialized segment of the market for particular products or services. Specialty market. Target audience. Focused segment. Specific domain. Why is finding a niche important for businesses? Niches, like specialty markets or focused segments, ensure targeted strategies. They help businesses cater to specific needs, fostering loyalty and standing out in competition. Classified. A short advertisement placed in a newspaper or online platform, typically for jobs or sales. Listing. Advertisement. Announcement. Notice. How do classified ads remain relevant in today's digital landscape? Classifieds, such as listings or notices, offer concise and accessible information. They connect buyers and sellers efficiently, retaining importance in both print and digital media. World Trade Organization, WTO. An international organization that regulates and facilitates global trade. Trade Regulator. Global Trade Body. International Trade Forum. Commerce Institution. How does the WTO contribute to maintaining fair trade globally? The WTO, as a trade regulator or international forum, ensures equal opportunities in commerce. It resolves disputes and fosters cooperation, promoting economic growth worldwide. Option. A choice or alternative available. Choice. Alternative. Selection. Opportunity. Why is exploring multiple options beneficial in decision-making? Options, like alternatives or selections, allow for informed decisions. They provide flexibility and enable individuals or businesses to choose the best path for their goals. Book. A set of written or printed pages bound together, conveying information or stories. Manuscript. Volume. Publication. Tome. Why does reading books remain a timeless form of learning and entertainment? Books, such as volumes or publications, engage readers deeply. They offer knowledge, spark imagination, and act as a bridge to diverse cultures and perspectives. Belt tightening. A reduction in spending due to financial constraints. Budget cuts. Spending reduction. Cost control. Financial restraint. Why is belt tightening important during economic downturns? Belt tightening, such as cost control or budget cuts, helps individuals and businesses stabilize finances. It ensures long-term resilience and prevents financial strain. Business cycle. A cycle of economic expansion and contraction in an economy. Economic fluctuation. Market cycle. Economic trend. Trade cycle. How does the business cycle influence strategic planning for companies? The business cycle, including economic fluctuations or trade cycles, guides companies in forecasting. It aids in preparing for booms or recessions, ensuring sustainable growth. Cash cow. A business or product that consistently generates high profits. Profit generator. Revenue source. Income driver. Money maker. Why is identifying a cash cow crucial for business sustainability? A cash cow, like a revenue source or money maker, funds growth and innovation. Its steady profits allow businesses to invest in new opportunities while maintaining stability.